I woke up at a rest area in southern British Columbia, and the first thing I noticed was how beautiful the day was. Sun is out, it's 32 degrees. It looks like there's been salt poured on these roads, so hopefully this will break up soon. I just passed Williams Lake. I had been craving A&W since the day before. What a great tagline, all day burgers and breakfast. I decided to get both at the same time, and even if this is called an all-Canadian breakfast, if you put tomatoes, bacon, eggs, and toast all on the same plate, this all-American boy is going to make a sandwich.
Turn right onto Caribou Highway, Front Street, signs for Barkerville, Prince Jarogay.
The day continued to be mostly sunny and 100% beautiful, but it barely rose above 32 degrees or 0 degrees Celsius, and there was a lot of slush and partially frozen, partially thawed ice and snow on the roads. I felt some concern for my load, not so much that it would shift, although I did check for any signs of that, and more concern that some amount of dust or mud or particles of either or both would make their way into the box in which I had stored all of the boxes being transported. They're all wrapped in plastic, and I think I did a pretty good job packaging them, but I still felt a little bit of concern because this level of moisture and mud for this amount of time was basically unprecedented. Regardless, time to push on and get back on the road.
Okay, so for example,
I honestly have no idea why the footage went into slow motion here. I never intentionally put it into slow motion, but regardless, maybe it is a metaphor for how the day and how the trip was going at this point. It felt like I'd been on the road a lot this day. I only stopped for breakfast, and then I stopped again later for dinner, and of course stopped to fuel and all of those normal things. But it seemed as if I was making very little forward progress despite, as far as I could tell, spending almost the entire day driving in the truck. Some of the words of one of the radio shows that was on rang particularly true, although I wasn't sure how to implement it. It said that the point was to make things fun and not simply a meaningless task, but to find ways to take even a mundane activity and make it into something that was somehow engaging. I wasn't quite sure how I would do this in the upcoming days, but as I heard those words, they rang true, and it sounded like the way that I wanted to approach life and a way that I've managed to approach life in the past. And if I could do it in the past, maybe that meant that there would be a way for me to do it again.
is there, and what they can access. And I'll use another example. Some communities I've been to, I've said, okay, I want you to go fingertip to fingertip out in the bush, and I want you to cut some logs from them, and weigh them just roughly. So we got a 20-pound one, a 40-pound, and a heavy one for some of those people that think they can lift lots of weight. And I said, let's do it so that it's fun. Let's make it so it's an activity, not just like something that you're going to dread.
As my flight was delayed,
I had seen a special on Peri Peri products at A&W the first time that I stopped, and I knew from that moment that the next time I stopped for a meal, I wanted to try all of them. So I got all 3 of the Peri Peri sandwiches offered at A&W, and unfortunately, I did not like them. It tasted like there was curry or garam masala or something else that I did not expect, and they were very creamy instead of having a bold, crisp spice that really popped that I was expecting from the Peri Peri. Then, as I was continuing onward, I caught out of the corner of my eye a hitchhiker on the side of the road. Lately I haven't always followed my own rule of always pick up hitchhikers, but I think I can make room for him here. Hey man, how's it going? Where are you trying to get to?
Just in the Fraser Lake. I've been trying to hitchhike the Vanderbilt all day.
Okay. I know I'm going through Fraser Lakes. I'm not sure about.
Yeah.
Is that Vanderhoof you're coming from?
No, I've been trying to get from Fraser Lake to Vanderbilt most of the day.
Are you trying to go back that way?
No, I'm going to back home.
Oh, I got you. Okay. I got
Is
you.
there anywhere I can put this? Like,
Yeah. Let me move something really quick.
Pipe, eh?
My name's Jimmy.
My name's Jimmy too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, James.
Yep, same here. You need a bite to eat, James? I got an extra sandwich there.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I just had a piece of pizza there at the store.
Nice. Said you're building a cabin?
Yeah, and I've been slowly bringing. Well, I've been trying to get those stovepipes from Fraser Lake
yeah?
to Vanderhoof here for the last week
So
or so.
are you building the cabin in Vanderhoof then?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm sorry you didn't get to do it today.
It's well, I guess it's I got to get 2 more sheets on the roof, and then what he wanted to do was start a business, and he was buying these vehicles up so he could have like a what do you call it?
Resale?
Like like it's like a cab service restaurant.
Okay.
From the
Like a
airport,
shuttle?
shuttle stuff like that, right? Because he knew all these people that were getting out of the army,
Okay.
and
Want something to go
they
into.
paid. The army would pay certain amounts of money
sure.
for them to move them from the base to wherever they're going, right?
Yeah.
And he was going to get into that as well, right? But yeah, he just started his business out, and he went down to the States to go pick up a vehicle, and so he flies down there and then picks the vehicle up and then drives it back.
Drives up to Alaska.
Yeah.
So, how far is Fraser Lakes?
It's like 20 minutes up the road here.
So, did you get a ride and then it take you very far? Or
for
did you walk
some
that
reason,
far?
it's like this little town here.
Yeah.
It's like the armpit of BC.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, every time I try and hitchhike back to Vanderhoof, I get stuck there.
Yeah.
Somebody will pick me up at Fraser Lake,
Uh-huh.
and they'll say,
For some
well,
reason they drop you off there.
oh, I'm only going to Fort Fraser.
Uh-huh.
So, me being a dumbass, well, okay, I'll get off Fort Fraser.
Sure.
Get a ride.
I mean, you kind of got to take your ride if you get it.
Well, I'm not really the type of guy to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, the closer I can get, the better, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. I'm just the weather's nice, and I want to get that cabin kind of finished. While
Yeah,
the weather's
of course.
nice, right?
As I listened to the various stories, both told on the radio and told by James, who I picked up while he was hitchhiking, I kept relating them back to negative attributes of my own personality and life experience and way of approaching things. As I listened to the story of addiction on the radio, in this case, substance addiction, which I've never really struggled with, it still felt relatable to me. It was relatable to the idea of continuing to go back to something that isn't serving you. And I do keep wondering if this business that I'm pursuing now, and which I am pursuing with a fresh start going back about 70 days ago, but which I've been doing in one way or another for about 4 years. I wonder if I keep returning to something that has diminishing returns, and which isn't really making me happy, but which I'm pretending is making me happy or is just about to make me happy. Obviously, the situation is quite different, and the potential outcomes of building a business and of using drugs are very different. But the fact that it somehow seemed relatable is still perhaps telling. I'll leave that subject for a while. As I heard James talk about someone who had given him a ride who's starting a business in Alaska doing shuttle services for military people. The same feeling crossed my mind, and in this case it was much more directly relatable. I didn't really believe in the business that this person was starting. I wish him success with it if I'm wrong, and I hope I am wrong. Maybe he has a great idea and he's moving forward to implement it, but my first response was more negative than positive. I didn't say it, I just listened and asked questions, but it sounded like a dead-end, harebrained scheme to me. And so did building the cabin that James was working on. Maybe I was just in a little bit of a critical mindset, but I started to wonder, why am I around and hearing about these people who are taking dead-end paths? Is this relatable to me?